We are making our way north around the Wild Atlantic Way, which is a coastal route in the west of Ireland. We've already visited the cliffs of Moher and the Burn. This time we visit the mountainous Connemara National Park, the beautiful Kylemore Abbey and Portumna Castle. Morning everybody, it is Monday and yes, that's the sun, look. Look at the view we've got out there. However, unfortunately, I think that's temporary because we just had a whole burst of wet weather. In fact, through that window, you can see all that whole side of the motorhome is wet. But I'm going to tell you where we are and where we're going today. So there is Clifton, and we managed to go around the Skye Road yesterday and then continue around the Wild Atlantic Way, and we've stopped off at Cleggan. We're going to then continue around the Wild Atlantic Way and sometime going to be ending up at Kylemore Harbour, just there. Now just here is Kylemore Abbey, which just a bit beyond Letterfrack, which that looks amazingly beautiful, so we may even pop into there. We are just arrived at the visitor centre for the Connemara National Park, and it has some walks, of course they normally do, and so we're on one. We've got waterproof coats and a brolly, and that is it. No food, so if we get lost we're not going to survive. In fact, it's now starting to rain. I can feel it on my head. Maybe our last recording. But that is what well, I'd love to walk over that. That is actually called Diamond Hill, and we're going to do the lower Diamond Hill walk. After the rain, it did brighten up again, allowing us to see the beautiful views. The walk was short and sweet, taking about an hour. I'd love to explore some more, but we just don't seem to spend enough time in these places. We'll just have to come back again some other day. The sun is out, the rain has stopped, but it's still a little bit chilly, you know? That looks really stunning, especially with the blue water there. It looks so blue. And a mountain that just seems to pop out of the ground. Big stone here marking the junction of where we can either go and follow the blue route back down to the visitor centre, or the red route which goes around Diamond Hill. We're going to be following the blue one. There you go, Zoe. I'll just leave her to be on her way. Don't get lost, love! Ta-da, love! We're on our way back down to the visitor centre, but looking back, look at that spectacular view. A range of mountains, or are they hills? I don't know, it doesn't matter. It looks impressive either way. After a spot of lunch, we are now at Kylemore Abbey, and it's raining again. And there it is, Kylemore Abbey. Looks very impressive. It also looks a bit out of place if you ask me. Yeah, they've got some construction work happening here. I can hear it over there, and there's a huge crane in the distance just there. So I wonder if we can get a discount. Probably not. So we have our ticket, cost €16 each, and they also give you this guide as well, which has a handy map in it. Here it is. Before we do go in, just check out this scenery here. What a wonderful view they have from the Abbey. Incredible, especially the car park, which is just there. Let's don't forget the view that they have of the crane and the building construction work. Right, let's get in there, except for the fact that that's actually the exit. So I was hoping that was going to be like stately rooms and whatnot, like National Trust. Okay. But it wasn't like that at all, was it? It was more of a museum. Yes. And placards and displays and things.
Yeah, it was all right.
But there's loads of information in there, loads of history.
Too much information.
Yeah, especially on the origins of the place rather than any of the Benedictine monks. Or the monks, the Benedictine nuns were the beginning, weren't they? There was a guide in there, she was talking, and I thought she said it costs them €5 million a year to maintain the entire estate.
So no wonder they charge £16 each.
Yeah. And their sandwiches are like €25. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Next we have the Gothic church. It doesn't look amazing in this light, in this sun. I guess anything looks amazing in the sun. All right, let's go in. Do excuse me while I geek out over the pillars in this church. I think I have a fetish for marble. There's lots of pillars in this church. And they're made out of different marble. Look. You have all the mod cons in here, including firelighters and a telephone. And this is the public toilets. No, actually, it's the mausoleum. This is where this is where Margaret and Mitchell have been buried, and they were the builders of Kylemore Castle, Abbey. Behind me is the Victorian walled garden, and look how beautiful it is. It's just amazing. This is a small section of the garden. The entire place though is quite huge. Now it's late afternoon and we still haven't figured out where we're going to be stopping for the night. So that is one thing we need to do next, and once we've done that, we've obviously got to get there. So somewhere not too far away would be ideal. Also with great scenery, that would be even better. Well, we did find a place to stay the night. We are currently in a little village called Leenane, a few miles south of Kilkenny Harbour. As you can see, we've got some spectacular surroundings, some scenery, and there's actually two car parks here. The one we're in at the moment and the one over there, which is opposite the Sheep and Wool Museum. Who would have thought? Sheep and Wool Museum. I wonder what we'll find over there. Anyway, there's a couple of pubs here and a grocery store which are all closed at the moment, and there's also a cafe which, do you know what? I've been looking for something for the last 10 days, and I've been looking forward to having an Irish breakfast, which of course is very similar to an English breakfast. Nothing's open that time in the morning when we get up around 8. The cafe opens at 9 and they do they do breakfast. Whether or not they do an Irish breakfast, I don't know. I just want to have an Irish breakfast. Not that I haven't had one before, it's just, I just fancy a fry up, you know, rather than what we normally eat, which is normally quite healthy. Morning, folks. It's not a good morning because we had a bit of a bad night, wasn't it, last night with weather-wise. Herman was rocking like this in the wind. It must have been a storm. It raining
really
all
lashed it
night,
down, didn't it? And it was windy. Yeah, it was. I mean, the thing is, you wouldn't think that sort of thing would keep you awake, but it did.
No. Regardless of that, we're going to start heading back down to the ferry port now. We are heading towards Portumna. Portumna, which is only a couple of hours away, but that will give us there's a park up there, a campsite kind of thing. So this is the end of the Wild Atlantic Way trip. So hold on.
Yes.
So we've done.
Yeah, because it's Tuesday today, isn't it? And we've got to get the ferry on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we've time to start heading down.
780 miles we've done from home.
Ooh.
So that's so when we started, so we've done about 330 miles around the Wild Atlantic Way so far.
So we haven't really got that far, have we? I mean, we've stopped.
I think we've got further than I thought we would.
Probably not as far as previous time.
Well, we arrived at Portumna Marina motorhome park. There's enough bays here for about, 20 motorhomes, 18 to 20 motorhomes. Dedicated spots And then just beyond there is a few parking spots for cars. Motorhomes or camper vans only though can use these spots. And you've got electric hookup on the pitch. There's an emptying place there and fresh water over there where you can just drive in and, well, motorhome service point of course. But there's also taps on this island in the middle here, which you can obviously fill up your water. Now we did have a problem with filling up the water. The tap head, nozzle, whatever, the screw thread on it was too large for our adapters. So we had to do it with our 10-litre container in the end. Parking up for 24 hours is €10, and there's a pay and display machine that you use, and you just stick it in your window, just like a car park really. Electricity though, you have to go into town and get an electric card. We don't actually know how it all works just yet, but that post there is the electric hookup, and you have to put this card in and you get electricity. How it's measured, don't know. How much power we're going to be using, don't know. So it's a bit, don't know at the moment. Going into town, see what's around, see if we're going to be staying longer than just the one night. Because there's a castle here, there's a lake here, looks amazingly pretty, but not entirely sure what you can do. And then of course there's a small toilet block with showers as well, but you have to pay for the showers. The other thing I should mention about parking at the marina in a motorhome is that there is a limit to the size of your motorhome. It does actually say maximum limit 6.5 metres. So if you've got anything more than that, you might be kicked off. I don't know what would happen, but there you go. I think the first thing we come across when we drove through Portumna was this. This is St Brigid's Catholic Church. It is huge. There's another church over there which I'll show you in a moment, but it's got its own tower, a separate bell tower. It's more like a cathedral if you ask me, and it looks very grey, almost as if it's made out of granite or breeze block. Very modern though. Right, let's go in and see what it's like inside. It's amazing, very echoey, huge as well. No columns holding anything up. Obviously a very modern church. And then here we have the holy sanitizer. Yeah, so you just walk down the town centre there. There just seems to be one main road. But it looks a bit old, doesn't it? Old, closed up in some places. There's a few bars and a few cafes, hairdressers and all that kind of thing, but not much else. Not very touristy at all. However, ended up going to the Super Value to get one of these. This is a card by the Waterways Island, and this gives you, well, it's basically the electric card. We got a 10-unit card for $6.35. Yeah, so there's a little machine which I showed you earlier, which you use to fill up your motorhome with electricity, let's just say. Behind us is that church I was referring to just a moment ago, and this is, well, it just hasn't got a name, it just says Church of Ireland, and it's quite pretty. We can't get in there though, which is a shame because, like I said, it looks quite nice. And it looks a lot older than the huge one across the road. Using the card in this system here wasn't too difficult. The hardest part was actually deciding how many kilowatt hours to take off the card. We just put 4 in. Don't know how long that's going to last, but we'll see. So about the showers though, Zoe's about to use them, so we're just about to find out how that works. Ladies' showers.
Do you normally loiter outside ladies' showers?
No, but
Let's see if this works.
There's the showers, and there's the unit. It just says insert card. No, it's a little thing on the bottom.
Oh, well, that way round.
I have no idea. Credit about to start. Now pull it out. 2 units deducted. You got 9 minutes, 10 minutes.
What, to get in here?
To have your shower.
Oh Jesus! Right, there go.
Now, throughout our trip around the Wild Atlantic Way, we have been using the Ecoflow River 2 Pro, and I've drained it using various, you know, my laptop and whatnot, my cameras and whatever. I've drained it all the way down to 30%. So since we have electricity, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to recharge it. However, typical me, I have forgotten the lead that plugs into a plug socket. So instead, I'm charging it using the car adapter, the cigarette lighter thing, accessory port. And of course, it's not going to be charged as quickly, but at least it will charge. Now, I found a problem with that. Okay, so on the app here, you can see this wavy line at the top. This is the amount of power going into the River 2 Pro. And as you can see, it's going up and down, it's going up and down. And then you've got this input on the middle of the screen here saying 0 watts, and then jumps all the way up to 44, 51 watts. And then it drops. So it's not charging properly. And I thought, what could that be? So if you go into settings and then car input, you got 3 options. You got 6 amps, 8 amps, which is set to, and then 4 amps. If I switch it to 4 amps, it didn't work on the other two. If I switch it to 4 amps and leave settings, then that should do it. Here it goes. There we are. So it's constant now. So it says that it's going to be charged in about 11 hours. And that charging is coming from the leisure battery, which, to be frank, does worry me a bit. Because what is it doing to the leisure battery? Is it damaging it? Herman's voltmeter says it's around 13 volts. But the voltmeter down there, where I'm plugged in, says it's 10 volts. 10 volts means your battery's dead. Hopefully you found that interesting. Now, let's continue touring Ireland. So how was your shower then?
Well, it was all right, but I think because you told me I've got so many minutes to be in there, I was like, what I should have done. Yeah, that's right. I suddenly thought the lights are going to go out or something, standing there. But what I should have done really was put a timer on my phone for like 5 minutes or something. And then that would have kind of... But yeah, it was just...
Yeah, but, okay, so...
There was nowhere to put your stuff.
Oh.
It was all a bit wet on the floor.
Was it hot?
It wasn't over hot, no.
Well, over hot will be scalding.
Well, it wasn't over scalding, no. Over scalding.
Was it hot?
It was lukewarm.
Oh.
I know. So I was very disappointed in it. So my result is that I'm not going to have another one.
Ever again. No more showers for Zoe.
Well, not in over there anyway. But
see,
you've got one shower token left, so you can go and try them out tomorrow.
Motorhomes are the best place to have showers.
Well, at least you know then it's hot, isn't it? And then you can dry yourself. And yeah.
That's why I always use Herman's. It is Wednesday and we are still in Portumna. And today the weather is dry at the moment. And in fact, there's a bit of sun as well. So we decided that we'll take a look round the castle that they have here. It is €5 each, so a bit of a bargain. In fact, it's just over there. Yeah, nice photograph. And yeah, we're going to wander around, see what it's like.
Didn't you just say it was not raining?
Yeah, I just... I don't know if you just... I just turned the camera off and that's when it started raining. Right, so that's the entrance to the castle. Let's go in and check it out. The first floor is dedicated to the history of the place and how they restored it. But this section hasn't got a ceiling, so you can actually look up through to the next few floors. It was built in 1618 for £10,000, but it was burnt down in 1826 due to a kitchen fire, just making it an unlivable ruin. The 4th Earl at the time, he built a new castle called Newcastle, but it burnt down in 1922. 30 years later, it was reconstructed into that church we saw in the middle of town, St Bridget's Church, that massive cathedral. So it hadn't gone to waste. Right, just found out on our ticket, it actually says no photography or filming. So I've done all that, and Zoe's taking photographs, and we weren't supposed to. We are now in Kilkenny. We're in the centre of town, in a car park which actually says it is a private car park. If you go through a car park called Wolftone Street Car Park, then you'll get to this one. There's no signs to say that you can park here, to be honest. When we got here, the gate was open. The only way of knowing that we can park here is through the Park for Night app and all the comments. There's grey and black water emptying, you can get fresh drinking water, and there's a courtesy box to put €10 in. But there are no signs here to tell you that you can do that, or you should do that. So it's a bit, it's all a bit weird if you ask me. There's quite a few motorhomes in here at the moment. Well, it is actually still raining. I was just going to say it has stopped, but look at that beautiful full arched rainbow. You don't normally see one of those, do you? It's really normally just the end of it. Actually, make that a double full arched rainbow.
That evening we decided to pop into the Dillon Whiskey Bar because it looked very cosy from outside. They have lots of different whiskies all around the walls, Irish as well as Scottish, but we stuck to a few beers. They also had Irish live music from this guy, who was very good. Next time we'll be staying on in Kilkenny, exploring the town and the castle, and getting that Irish breakfast I've been longing for.
I've got the big one.
And then on to Hook Lighthouse to finish our tour of Ireland and the Wild Atlantic Way. So if you don't want to miss out, then consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed this video, then why not watch the previous one and be sure to give this one a thumbs up.